and welcome to Inside Outlook. I'm Jeff Havers, Superintendent of Pemberton Township Schools. As I'm sure you are aware, Governor Murphy recently announced that as of Monday, March 7th, he is ending the mandate that requires students, staff, and visitors to wear a mask in schools and childcare settings in New Jersey. In discontinuing the state mask mandate, Governor Murphy gave authority to local school districts to make their own decisions regarding masks. And here in Pemberton Township, we have made the decision to make masks optional. Staff, students, and visitors will no longer be required to wear a mask, but instead will make their own decision whether or not to wear a mask in our school buildings. After nearly 2 years of masking, I believe there are many benefits to making masks optional. Without masks, our children will be able to learn better academically, as well as benefit socially and emotionally. We will finally be able to smile at one another again and more easily convey positive emotions that show support for our students. I believe we need to see each other as people in order to help build the valuable relationships that will strengthen our learning community. It will be refreshing to see the faces of our students and co-workers and liberating to interact on a more personal level. When we begin our mask optional phase on March 7th, there are a few important points to consider. First and foremost, please remember it's a federal mandate that requires masks be worn by all individuals on buses, and that mandate remains in place. Therefore, students must continue to board the bus with a mask both to and from school and keep the mask in place during the entire ride. If and when the federal government releases that mandate, masks will then be optional on buses too. Secondly, please know there are circumstances when masks will still be required as shown on your screen. Individuals must wear a mask if they have tested positive for COVID in the last 10 days, have COVID symptoms and are waiting to leave the building, have been identified as an unvaccinated close contact within the last 5 days, and lastly, make a mask optional will require subtle changes in our contact tracing and quarantining protocols. Remember, as of now, all students who test positive must quarantine for 10 days. Contact tracing will determine quarantine protocols for other students, and in the example shown, if a positive student is wearing a mask, and so are others within 3 feet of them, those close contacts do not need to quarantine. Our school district is no longer using 6 feet as a metric in an effort to reduce the amount of quarantining. However, any student who is unvaccinated not wearing a mask will have to quarantine. In the next slide, the positive student is not wearing a mask, so any unvaccinated student within 3 feet must quarantine, regardless of whether they are wearing a mask or not. These are just 2 scenarios, and there are a variety of different circumstances that will affect quarantine procedures. Our district contact tracers will contact any parent whose child is considered a close contact and explain the required procedures. Please remember to be respectful to all contact tracers, as they are simply conveying the information necessary to adhere to our protocols. And as always, keep your child home if they are symptomatic and report any COVID positive test results to your school nurse. Moving forward, I will continue to evaluate the situation in our schools and county and consider all recommendations from our County Department of Health in determining any future modifications. And while masks will become optional beginning March 7th, please know that all other health and safety protocols that are already in place will remain, including MERV 13 air purifiers in all rooms, proper hand washing, hand sanitizing, disinfecting misting, and barriers may be used upon request. An updated version of our Safe Return Plan is posted on our district website, which reflects the changes I've discussed here today. This draft is scheduled to go before the Board of Education for approval next Thursday, February 24th. We realize that this new option will allow individuals to express their personal preference regarding masks, much as they currently do when going to restaurants, stores, or other public venues. We expect all students, staff, and parents to respect those personal choices, as we all adjust to the changes this new practice will bring. I am confident that the lifting of the mask mandate in schools is a step in the right direction. Before I go, a few reminders. The February Board of Education work session will take place Thursday, February 17th at 6:30 p.m. in the high school auditorium. And the action meeting will take place Thursday, February 24th at 6:30 in the high school auditorium as well. All schools will be closed next Monday, February 21st, in honor of President's Day. Thank you, and I will see you next time on Inside Outlook.